Hello everyone! We're back today with another video and we are comparing four really cute tiny mini amps right here. They're all from the same distribution company. So we have the Friedman BE Mini, the Bogner Ecstacy, we have the Diezel VH Micro and the Soldano mini amp right here. So what are we going to do today? If I can talk properly, well, we're going to do this. We're going to compare these four amps. We're going to hopefully provide you with eargasms and tonal differences between each amp. We're going to check out the gain structure, number one. We're going to check out how different do they sound, their basic tonal characteristics. So we're going to do this in a few parts. I now have all the amps turned off. The signal chain is the Strandberg Salen Jazz going into each of these amps into an orange PPC 2x12 vertical cabinet being mic'd up by a SE Electronics V7X. So first up, we're going to turn on the amp. We're going to listen to the noise floor with the volume knob rolled back. And then I'm going to roll up the volume knob. We're going to listen to how noisy that is. And then we're going to do a basic chugga test, right? And I'll mainly leave the amps with all the knobs in the center position. What I've adjusted here, I will let you know in terms of kind of matching the gain structure to sound as similar as possible with the EQ all in the center so you can hear the tonal difference of each amplifier. And then we're going to just briefly kind of tweak each amp and hear how they sound when you tweak them. So what else can I talk about these amps before we begin playing is that they all have very similar features in the sense that they're all solid state. I think they're about 20 watts right here. They all have an effects loop, so that is cool. You can still put in your time-based effects in the effects loop. Now in terms of controls, they all have a 3-band EQ and your volume/master knob. The Friedman has a tight and cut switch, so you can actually cut the gain because there's so much gain on tap in this mini amp, and you can kind of tighten the bottom end. So those are the two toggle switches there. The Ecstasy has 4 freaking toggle switches, so you have a pre-EQ to adjust the brightness of the overall tone. You got a mid-frequency toggle switch right there, so you can adjust it from neutral. It affects a certain frequency, and then you got something to affect the low mids more and another switch to affect the high mids more. So if you want to know the exact frequencies, you can open up the manual, and then there is a gain plus switch. So if you put it in minus, it cuts the gain. Put it in plus, it has more gain. And finally, there is a Variac switch which kind of affects the bottom end and sags the tone. Next is the Diezel VH Micro, which is the most basic one. Just straight up bass, middle, treble, gain, presence, and a deep knob, and your master volume. The Soldano is also very straightforward. It has all your 3-band EQ, presence, gain, master. It does have a normal and deep switch, so that kind of acts as the deep knob, but this time it's a toggle switch. And of course there is a crunch to overdrive toggle switch, so the overdrive mode is the higher gain one. Now, goddamn, talk so much. So first up, let's switch on the BE Mini and listen to the noise floor. So that's how noisy it is. Not that noisy. I've heard worse. Here's the chugga test. Now let's hear how well it can clean up on this setting. Now the amp does have a cut and tight switch, so with the tight toggle switch, now it's in the center position. If you put it all the way down, it's going to be the tightest setting, and the cut switch, you put it all the way up, it's going to be the least gain setting. So Here we go, let's tweak the amp a little. Cut switch all the way down, so this is your mid-level cut. Tight switch all the way up, which is your mid-level cut. Now let's check out the Bogner Ecstacy. Alright, so we're back with the Bogner Ecstacy turned off. Now let's turn it on and listen to the noise floor. Not too bad to my ears. Now let's chugga chugga. So right now we have the pre-EQ in a neutral position. I can't talk! We have the pre-EQ and the mid-frequency in the neutral position. The gain switch is in the gain plus, so there's a bit more gain. Now we're going to hear how well it can clean up. So now we're going to tweak the amp a little bit. We're going to fool around with the pre-EQ. And yeah. To the left, brightness level 1. To the right, brightness level 2. Back to brightness level 1. We're going to affect the upper mids. I'm going to crank that mids. So we're done with the Bogner Ecstacy. If you want a more detailed demo of the Friedman and the Bogner, we're going to leave links in the description below for you to check that out. So now, moving on. Now the Diezel VH Micro, the most basic in the sense that it has no toggle switches. Very straightforward, a 3-band EQ and 2 post effects loop EQ. So the master here is in the center position because I discovered that to get to get similar volume out of all 4, the Diezel has to be pretty much in the center position, whereas all the other amps currently are about 11 to 10 o'clock, 11 to 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, yeah. So the Diezel, noise floor. I think it's the quietest of them all. Let's chug. I'm going to turn up the volume just a little more. Next up, let's check out how well it can clean up. like the simplicity. Let's start tweaking the knobs a little bit. Turning down the treble, turning up the presence, turning up the deep, turning up the gain. Sorry, they're just a little more riffage. First time plugging into the Diezel and the Soldano, which is up next. Alright, we're back with the Soldano, the one everyone in the world is freaking talking about right now. So, this one I have the toggle switch in the deep position because I like to deep, and of course I have the other one in the overdrive position, which is the higher gain one because we all love tons of gain, don't we? So, noise floor check. Lots of bite on this one. Let's check out how well it cleans up. Awesome, so now let's start tweaking the amp a little. I'm definitely going to cut a bit of treble with a little presence, I'm not sure, perhaps. Now, if you're curious to hear what the deep and the normal toggle switch does, is this is in the deep position. I'm going to flick it between normal and deep. So we're starting with deep, right? So as you can hear, the deep definitely adds more depth. And if you have a guitar which is probably a bit too bassy, you know, maybe a shorter scale length, a bit more woolly, you might want to flick it to the normal setting. And with the crunch / overdrive, let's hear how that sounds. So crunch mode, gain rolled back, and bass slightly cranked. If I just bump it onto the overdrive mode. So there you go. Those with the 4 mini amps. What do I think? Problem is I love them all. I literally don't prefer one over the other. I just like them all. Goes to show I just love gain. I just love high gain. Well, let us know what you think about the tones achieved here today. Leave a comment down below. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more content and see you real soon.